Welcome back. All I have today is a very brief winter solstice garden walkthrough. I'm doing a very rare walkthrough video where I'm recording the sound at the same time I'm taking the video. Usually, my neighborhood is way too loud for that. Between loud airplanes, loud vehicles, leaf blowers, you name it, it doesn't usually make much sense to narrate what I'm doing as I'm recording because I'll be drowned out. But because it is a rare set of very rainy days here, nobody else is out, so the calm and quiet is really nice. Anyway, I'm starting off today's video with my winter patio tomatoes. Quick update there. I have so far been able to keep these from being killed by frost. I have these stakes here. They look ugly, but I covered the tips with some duct tape. I've been covering these with clear plastic garbage bags on the cold nights, and it seems to be working. And these are developing fruit. I didn't actually expect this to happen, so I don't know if conditions will be sufficient for these to ripen, or if I can get them to the break point so they can ripen up inside. But kind of feeling like I have been successfully in defiance of nature here. Getting these tomatoes as far as they are in December without having an actual greenhouse. All right, and here are my all the potatoes that I have left alive. Unlike my tomatoes, a good number of my potatoes, the russets that I have going on the other side of the yard, they were largely killed by frost, and I had to harvest them as small boilers, which was a disappointment. I did my best to cover on the frosty nights, but it wasn't enough, and they really died back. So I cut my losses on those, but these so far are still going strong. It's a weird thing that the east side of my yard seems to get hit worse with frost than these guys here on the west side. And these are my brand new garden beds that I just built. In fact, I just posted a video on that process a couple of days ago. Go check it out. What I didn't want to have happen did. The landscaping that I had to do, where I have the ground torn up, it's now kind of a mud pit. I haven't had a chance to get any kind of ground cover growing before the rain set in. It'll be fine as long as I can keep our 4-year-old daughter from stomping around up here and really making a mess. That might be an exercise in futility, but what's childhood without playing in the mud? The clover seed that I planted as a cover crop on these is sprouting quickly. You can see here. So that's good. Cover is a great nitrogen fixing cover crop. Add a little more nutrients to the soil while I don't have anything important going on in there. All right, snap peas, Oregon sugar pod. These seem to have pretty much done what they're going to do. I was hoping for a little more out of them, but they're yellowing and dying back. I don't know if that's an issue with the soil, the lack of daylight. We got a good few meals out of these plants, but I think I'm going to give them another month or two, but they look like they're done. I don't exactly have anything to replace them with, so I'm not in any hurry to pull them. These are our shelling peas. I don't remember the exact variety. I had a whole bunch of random seed packets that I've been working out of for a few years now. Again, these are giving a decent amount, and it looks like they're not quite done yet. And my carrot bed. Some of these I've thinned. These are taking forever. They just don't get a ton of light here, so they are taking absolutely forever. Probably won't be really harvesting these until spring. Some of them I thinned, these ones here, but the others I think I'm going to let go. There's another really informative gardening channel I watch, Lazy Dog Farms, and the host of that channel swears by not bothering to thin his carrots, and he says that he gets really good sized carrots anyway. So I absolutely hate everything to do with growing carrots except harvesting them. So I think I'm going to give that method a try and just kind of try to avoid the tedium of having to sit out here and thin them to an inch or better apart. See how that works, and hopefully I can save myself a little time and effort that way. All right, the broccoli is going strong. We've started to harvest this. Look at the size of the heads on some of these guys here. Um, and we've already had one broccoli-based meal. Looks like I've really got to get out here and harvest some more before it goes to flower. It's, you know, the holidays, very busy. I've had a lot going on between you know, the obligations of the holidays, plus trying to build those 2 new garden beds, a project that turned into more of a Pandora's box than expected. Took me a bit longer. So some of this is starting to go a little too far. Got to get out here in the next couple of days and harvest. Already, the mini florets are sprouting from the nodes between the leaf branches and the stem, which is great. It's a little extra harvest you get out of these. The 2 varieties I have going this year are the Chico and I believe the other one was Calabrese. And my semi-failure Rapini, I foolishly thought this was just a different variety of broccoli. It's not, and it turns out that it is way too bitter for anybody in my household to eat. I was going to pull it all and let the chickens eat it because, you know, the chickens absolutely love any kind of fresh green. But we still have honeybee activity. In fact, there's one buzzing around right now. Yeah, we're in late December here. We're still getting honeybees. So I'm leaving these up for them. I'm pretty psyched about that, actually. You know, sometimes there's a silver lining. Wasted a bunch of space here on a crop we're not going to eat, but, you know, anything that helps pollinators isn't a complete failure. All I have here is a bed of cover crops, a mix of clover and some various salad greens that we don't particularly care for. I think there was a lot of arugula I threw in there, a couple of random radish and beet seeds that were kicking around the bottom of the container. Just anything to keep a root structure and get some green mass on top so that I can feed to the chickens or chop and drop when the time comes. You know, there's some clover, which of course is a nitrogen fixer. So that's, you know, again, it's a placeholder until spring. As I harvest vegetables, I'm not replacing them until I do our primary spring garden, you know, the main event with all the tomatoes and peppers and squash, etc. So a lot of stuff in the winter is really just a why not grow it? We have the space and it's not going to be killed by the cold. But I'm definitely not, for the most part, as excited about winter garden stuff as I am spring and summer garden. So as I clear out and we eat or harvest the crops that are there, bury some compost, sow a cover crop, and then let it cook, so to speak, until spring. Moving on, we have the beet and turnip bed, which we have already started to harvest from. We did a great beet salad with a maple vinaigrette the other night. That was really good. The turnips, I put some of these in a beef stew, but they are getting to the point they're actually too big, and I'm going to roast these and give them to the chickens just to show you how huge they're getting. I'll pull this one right now and split in the bottom. I let these go way too far. Technically still edible. Just because it's edible doesn't mean anybody's going to want to eat it. But man, that's huge. The chickens will eat well this winter. And just to the left here are tremendously slow-growing Brussels sprouts and red cabbage with a row at the back of Swiss chard. And again, this spot, I'm now more or less in the northwestern corner of our lot. You know, it's effectively the winter solstice as I record this, and it's getting maybe a few hours of direct sunlight a day. So again, everything is growing really, really slowly here, which is fine. It's kind of like a long-term investment, and like I said, I'm hoping for some Easter Brussels sprouts. And here are the remains of the russet potatoes I had going that were killed by frost. It was kind of a bummer. I got some back out of it, but ultimately it dawned on me that I planted about 5, 6 pounds of russet potatoes to harvest maybe 2 or 3 pounds of boiler-sized potatoes, which is better to get something back out of it than nothing. But ultimately, it was kind of a fail. But the cool part is we're early enough in the season that I'm chitting another set of seed potatoes right now that I'm going to be planting out in about a month. Again, winter planting for a spring harvest. So hopefully, before all is said and done, I'll still have get a decent potato harvest out of everything. All right, in these 3 beds here, I've got a little extra broccoli going. It's not going gangbusters like the stuff in the larger bed is, but if I remember correctly, I planted these a few weeks later than those, so they have plenty of time to catch up. And some lettuce and other greens, a few radishes. As you can see, we've been hitting that for the salads and to throw on sandwiches and burgers and stuff. It's really nice to have a close by bed of leaf lettuce for that sort of thing. And I'm wrapping things back up at the tomato plant here. That's really all I have for today. Like I said, there's really starting to run out of things that are going on in the garden. As far as winter crops, we're steadily harvesting, and I'm not really replacing anything as we harvest. So I guess that's about it for today. I hate to do this because it seems cliche, but I am trying to get this channel off the ground. The better it does, the more I can justify putting time, money, and effort into it. So things like liking and subscribing, actually, it turns out that it helps. I hate to say that because every person on YouTube is obnoxious about it, but this will be my kind of one and only reminder about that. I do appreciate anybody who watches, and if you just take that quick extra step and click the thumbs up button and subscribe, even if you want to ignore everything else, the algorithm really likes that. So I appreciate everybody who watched. Have a great Christmas.